I'm Carrie Ann Peng, and I'm a scientist. This is a two-part video. The first part is where I'm going to discuss what I do day in, day out as an epidemiologist. And the second part, I'm going to discuss what I do as an entrepreneur, business owner, and a formulator. Epidemiology is the study and analysis of the patterns, causes, and effects of health conditions in a defined population. So what exactly do I do with that? I work for a large pharmaceutical company where I'm a pharmacoepidemiologist. I use my skills to conduct population-based research. So basically, after a drug has been marketed, come in and we design studies within the general effects of our pharmaceuticals on the general population. Epidemiologists not only design studies, but we also interpret those results. An epidemiologist is always a part of a multidisciplinary team. That team may consist of clinicians, doctors, nurses, statisticians, or other subject matter experts. So although we work with a team of statisticians, the epidemiologist is needed to actually interpret the data statistics in relation to the problem at hand. For me, it was more of an indirect route. During undergrad, I changed my major several times. I went from computer science to nursing to pre-med. And it was while taking a political and social philosophy course at Rutgers that I stumbled upon public health. And public health is multidisciplinary, many different fields that consist of epidemiologists, statisticians, urban health specialists. It's just a huge umbrella. So I fell in love with the idea of becoming an epidemiologist. And so I attended the University of Washington course on disaster preparedness. This was during the whole swine flu epidemic, and so it was very interesting. So from there on, I applied to the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey, otherwise known as UMDNJ, which is now Rutgers University. And I completed my master's in public health with a concentration in epidemiology. So the only prerequisite for that particular program was that you've had to have taken a statistics course. Now, I've come across many other epidemiologists who've actually obtained a bachelor's in epidemiology. Unfortunately, at the time, while I was going through high school, I had no idea about public health really, or let alone epidemiology. So it wasn't something that I had my sights set on. So for those of you who are aware of it in high school, then you can kind of propel yourself in that direction through undergrad and then grad school and later on PhD if you so choose. So for me, it was more of an indirect route. So if it is something that you're interested in, you can more than likely get a jump start on it in high school. You'll need your necessary statistics courses. Coming out of high school, I'm not sure what the requirements are, but that's nothing a little research can't cure. Epidemiology is everywhere. It's in every field, from pharmaceuticals to cosmetics to genetics, just any area where you'll have to assess or even design a surveillance program, a particular interventional program is doing. You'll need epidemiologists, along with a multidisciplinary team. Next screen is going to outline the many different fields and areas where an epidemiologist could possibly work. As of December 28, 2016, the median annual salary for an epidemiologist is about $86,000. So there are some who are making more, and there are some who are making about $77,000 to $108,000. This will vary widely based on your credentials. So whether you have a bachelor's bachelor's, a master's, a PhD, your years of experience in a particular field? Are you a subject matter expert? I love what I do. I love being an epidemiologist. I love the idea of waking up in the morning and being able to do what I love from home. I love the idea of learning new things because you're constantly learning in this field. Oncology therapeutic area of my company, and I do a lot of cancer research, and it's very interesting. I learn a lot. I learn new things every day. I'm an epidemiologist because I like the notion of being a disease hunter. So basically, I came into this because I wanted to do field epidemiology, which is the person that you'd see in the movie Contagion. They go out and investigate diseases, outbreaks, and they track down the source case, and it's just really interesting. And that's why I wanted to become an epidemiologist. I'm the founder and CEO of Naturally Me Hair and Body Creations. We hand make hair and body products that your whole family will love and enjoy. This involves science in a sense that I have to plan out my formulations for each product. So that involves research, some chemistry, a lot of chemistry actually. And that just involves a lot of research and knowing your ingredients, what work well with what ingredient, and what ingredients just aren't safe at all. Because there are a lot of ingredients out there that are being marketed that aren't particularly safe. They can cause diseases and illnesses within the population that use them. This portion of the video, I'm going to show you how I formulate and create a product. So this particular product is, I'm not currently selling this product. This is just for the purposes of this video. It's a very simple moisturizing cream. I'm going to call it CocoShea Moisturizing Body Cream. So the ingredients are distilled water, glycerin, shea butter, coconut oil, and then we're going to have a little bit of fragrance oil, vitamin E oil, and then we'll have a preservative. The preservative that I plan to use is called Optiphen. This preservative is not a natural preservative, however, it is used in many natural formulations. Optiphen is a paraben-free, formaldehyde-free preservative, meaning it will not form formaldehyde in your product, which isn't good at all. However, it's not a natural preservative, but it is quite effective as a broad spectrum preservative to preserve natural formulation. Well, why do I need a preservative? You need a preservative anytime you're adding water to a formulation. So the process for creating a product and getting it out there on the market. First and foremost, you have to have in your mind what you want the product to do. You have to know how you want that product to feel. What are you trying to portray with this product? Then you need to find the ingredients that'll give you those desired effects. So research, research, research. Lots and lots of research. And then you put the ingredients together in accordance with the manufacturer's specifications. So for instance, Optiphen is a preservative that can be used at 0.5% to 1.5% of your total formulation weight. So you need to pay attention to these specifications and how the product should be used. Do you need to only use it with plastic utensils, or do you have to wear gloves, or do you have to wear protective gear? Now, just a side note, I wear gloves with everything just to protect the product, and I wear gloves, goggles, hairnets just to protect the product, as if you were working in a food kitchen. That's how you have to look at these things. What you need to do is based on your formulary or your recipe, you're going to weigh out your ingredients. Now, there's usually 3 phases if you're making a product that includes water. So you'll have your water phase where you put all your water soluble ingredients. So in this case, water, of course, and then glycerin is water soluble. Then you'd have your oil phase, where I'm going to put the shea butter, I'm going to put the coconut oil, I'm also going to add a broad spectrum emulsifier. Now, the emulsifier is what binds the oil and the water together, because we all know that oil and water don't mix. So you need to come up with a way to bind those two together so that they don't separate. So the emulsifier goes in the oil phase, where you include your preservative, your fragrance oils, any ingredient that does not or should not be heated would go into your if you're working with raw ingredients. So for instance, raw shea butter or raw cocoa butter, where it hasn't been refined, you want to actually heat that part, the oil phase of your recipe or your to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to hold it there for 20 minutes. Now when I say hold it, you want to keep it at a steady temperature, 140 degrees, for about 20 minutes, just to ensure that any microbes or any harmful stuff that's in the raw form of that ingredient, once everything has been heated to the desired temperature, then you're going to pour your part A into a container. And then you're going to pour your part B, which is your oil phase, into part A, and then you'll start to emulsify with an immersion blender. Or if you have a homogenizer, you can use that as well. But those are pretty expensive. I doubt that most home chemists have one. So an immersion blender is just as effective. So you use an immersion blender or a stick blender. There are some preservatives where you'd have to wait until your formula dropped below a certain temperature before you can use them. So Optiphen is not one of those preservatives. You can put it in as soon as your product has been emulsified and started to form a thick cream or a creamy lotion type of product. Then you can add your part C ingredients, which are your preservatives, your fragrance oils, or whatever else you'd like to add. And then you continue to emulsify them cool first before you start to package it, because you don't want steam or water to start to develop in your container. Bacteria can grow there, so you don't want to do that. You want to let it cool completely, and then you let it cool to room temperature. You want to sterilize all your tools, all your utensils. You want to sterilize your workspace, your table, or wherever you'll be working. You'll want to make sure that you don't cross-contaminate. So meaning, if you use this spoon to scoop out your shea butter, you don't want to use that same spoon to scoop out your cocoa butter. So you just want to make sure that you're following good manufacturing practices. You want to wear your gloves so that you don't contaminate anything with your hands.
So now here we have all our ingredients. We have our part A ingredients here, the glycerin in the smaller bowl and the distilled water in the measuring cup. And then we have here our raw shea butter, our coconut oil, our emulsifying wax, and our cetyl alcohol, just added as an extra thickener to build viscosity in the formulation. And here's our part C ingredient, which I've mixed the Optiphen, the fragrance oil, as well as the vitamin E oil all in one. So this will all be poured in at the end after we've mixed part A and part B.
What you'll see next is the recipe for the CocoShea Moisturizing Body Cream. Video was informative. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.